Welcome back to the Dividend Diplomats YouTube channel. You've got Bert and Lanny, the Dividend Diplomats, guys. Welcome back to a Sunday morning. Thanks for grabbing your coffee and hanging with your two broskies here. As you know, the name of the game the last 2 years for me and even for Bert has been to simplify the stock portfolio. Well, a certain stock on May 29th, Thursday, we are filming this Thursday night, 10:45 p.m., was up over 10% after their earnings release. And this brought the idea back to a table to possibly sell one stock and move it back into SCHD.
Smash that subscribe button, everyone. Give this video a thumbs up. Holla at your boys. The Dividend Diplomats.
In streets.
This has been a stock we have been talking about. We've tweeted about it every once in a while, but I know Lanny and I, at least behind the scenes, as we're talking about our portfolios, have actually looked to dump this stock or look at when's the right opportunity to get rid of this company.
Yeah, and again, not that they've been a bad company. I mean, heck, on my phone right now, I'm typing in the ticker symbol because we are talking about Spartan Nash right now, guys. But if we look at Spartan Nash,
Let's try
again,
this.
who
Yes, you can't see that. I thought
oh man, putting that post stuff up there. I like it. I like it.
The idea was there, but it's a lot further away from the camera than you'd expect. So that post-it note didn't do anything.
So they're actually flat over 5 years, but there was a point in time in 2022 when this stock was riding high in the $34 to $36 range. So definitely a fall from grace.
That was probably the time to sell it. In hindsight, it was a very easy thing to look at. Just take the gains and run, but it's not always that simple.
Well, the PEU is probably very abnormal as well. They're probably 20 to 25, but we'll get into the metrics. We're going to run them through the DD screener as well to look at them. Again, the whole name of the game is also to be either dividend neutral or dividend up when I exit positions, or dividend growth up as well. And, we'll get into it to see if it fits the bill to sell Spartan Nash now or to wait for a newer exit point here.
Yeah, and Spartan Nash is a smaller cap company. They're less than $1 billion market cap. And for those that don't know, they distribute groceries. They have a small private grocery chain. But what also attracted us to Spartan Nash from the get-go, Lanny, is they are one of the largest food suppliers to government offices, government services, and even some businesses in there. So they weren't just a singular grocery chain. They were insulated from market fluctuations because they had major business lines that went along.
Right. Yeah, I mean, great contracts, though, great recurring revenue, as Bert said. I mean, I think margin, and all of that, I think there's so much room. I think there's so much room for many companies to improve. And I feel like companies during the COVID time period and post-COVID were definitely like, oh man, margins are great. People have so much flux cash, but that was tightening, inflation, interest rates, all of that is the storm that we're in right now. Tariffs, you name it. Sure. So I feel like companies can get very smart and very efficient right now. And Spartan Nash is one of those companies. So that's hence why they had a solid earnings and they had a 10% pop today.
Yeah. So you said you want to make them dividend neutral. Do you want to go through your position in the overall size first, or do you want to run them through the screener first? Which one do you want?
That's great. Yeah. Quickly, guys, Spartan Nash, we have it in my wife's account, 54 shares almost at about $1,150, produces just over $47, guys. So thanks to that 10% pop, obviously, with the market value. Now, if we compare that to SCHD, dollar for dollar, we can grab 44 shares of SCHD, and it would add just under $46. So we're about 3.3% away from being dividend neutral. So, Spartan Nash only needs to go up another 3.3% to be dividend neutral at least.
Yeah, and that's from the percentage standpoint too. Dollar-wise, you're also really not that far out either. With that Spartan Nash $47 dividend and 40 cents, that forecasted SCHD dividend is $45.83. So you're really right there in terms of the neutrality, because that's what helps when Spartan Nash popped up the way it did. That 10% pop got you a lot closer to being neutral.
Oh, exactly. Again, we would have been a lot further away if it wasn't for that pop today.
Yes.
But let's run them now through the DD stock screener. We'll compare them quickly side by side as each metric goes to quote unquote SCHD's metrics, but we'll look at the PE, payout, dividend growth, dividend yield. Bert, you want to kick us off?
No.
Cool.
All right, no, I'm kidding. Price is 21.44. Earnings per share are 176. It gives you a price to earnings ratio of 12.18. So heavily discounted to the S&P 500, heavily discounted to where they were when they were back in their 30s several years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, much further of a discount there. And even after the 10% pop, the PE did go up, but still doesn't go up a ton. Now, dividends, they pay 22 cents per share per quarter, 88 cents per year, 50% flat, perfectly safe dividend payout ratio right now.
Yeah, their 5-year growth rate is 2.86%, and they're almost a dividend aristocrat here. At least they're a decade away, I should say. So I don't know how much consider that's almost. They're more than halfway there. So they're living on a prayer with this one.
Yeah. Oh, man, look at that. I love the tie-in, man. Dividend yield, this is why kind of you still held on to Spartan Nash. They have dividend growth, and they currently are sporting, even after the 10% pop, a 4.1% yield.
Yep, year to date, they're up 17%, up 7% over the last 52 weeks. And again, that market cap is 725 mil.
They're definitely, as of recent times, outperforming the SCHD as well. So, now SCHD, we forgot to kind of bring in their metrics. SCHD's P is around just under 16 with all the companies in there. And then their payout ratio based on what the EPS, because SCHD does show what the PE ratio is. So you can back into all this. So 62% payout ratio, 14% 5-year growth rate. That's the bright spot here. And then the dividend yield is just under 4% on the trailing 12-month adjusted dividends because of that stock split that they had. Down 4% this year, down a little over 2.5%, or up over 2.5% since last year.
Yeah. So again, Lanny's almost dividend neutral on there, 47.40 cents from Spartan Nash right now. If he sold, reinvested it into SCHD at the current price, he would be getting $45.83 of dividends.
Yeah, and that's if I sold right now, moved it right in. Obviously, the dividend growth rate would improve, and if the dividend growth continued to be consistent with what SCHD has done over the last 5 years, then again, give it less than a year, and it should be outpacing Spartan Nash's dividend. What do I want to do? I mean, again, I'm in a small unrealized gain currently on Spartan Nash. Would love to simplify one position. This would probably be one because I don't really have plans to add to this position.
Yeah.
We do have Kroger in mind.
Yeah, and I have a similar situation here. I have about 1,600 of Spartan Nash in my portfolio that I'm looking to possibly sell to. And I've been waiting for an opportunity for it to get over the 20s to get back into it. So I'm looking to either not necessarily focus on the dividend neutrality at this moment in time, but more maybe PACCAR, who gives you the lower yield. I can basically double that position for where I'm standing today, make it a $3,200 PACCAR position with that, 1.8% standard yield, 4%er with the special dividend potentially. Or I could also move it into SCHD too and just juice up that position too, like we've been doing. I'm not afraid to move on from Spartan Nash, especially after a 10% bang.
I'm not afraid to sell Spartan Nash.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah, the top of the chart single for everybody. The song that they didn't know they needed.
I feel like lately I've just been busting on some sort of song almost during the videos.
Lucky us.
Now, where Spartan Nash was, again, not saying that they're a $35 stock right now, but say if we slacked on like even a modest 16, PE ratio based on earnings, are they a $28 stock? They're probably closer to that, or even if you wanted to use SCHD as a current PE, right?
Yeah.
If you bounce that on, you have 27.68. So I feel like
Yeah,
I'm not going to sell Spartan right now because I feel like this might be the optimism and forward guidance that the investor community needs.
Yeah. Not to throw
if
another metric on it, but I just pulled it up on Seeking Alpha. 5-year average price to earnings ratio is 11.26.
Oh, so they're trading higher now.
Yeah. So, they had that little period where they were up. Now they're back a little bit above the average.
That's too.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw that off. That was just something I was pulling up as you were.
That's good. Oh, my damn bird! You really make my problems a problem. Or
yeah, you're like cut the full video, start it over.
that's
I'm
pretty
kidding.
good. No, I mean, I feel like I'm not quite ready to
No.
sell Spartan Nash just because I feel like there's a little bit of today was like the momentum. I feel like just because you're in the 18s, 19s, now you're back over 21.
Yeah.
Again, I'm sure I sound like a broken record with many other stock positions, but I did exit, earlier NetApp and Gap. And if I look back at NTAP, they're back at 99. I sold them just over 100, and they've been at 99 for the last couple of weeks. Gap finally exited them, and I feel like I didn't quite catch the top when I exited, but they've been kind of flat the last 5 days.
What was
So
your
I feel
selling
like
price? Pull this one up. Look at them in the after hours.
which one?
Gap. Pull up Gap in the after hours.
Oh, thank God.
Yes, there you go. I saw
All
that one was
right.
poorly filmed. I was just looking at that one on its own.
Oh,
For everyone that knows, okay, Gap at close of the day. We're filming this on May 29th. They closed the day at 27.95. So Lanny's right. They were flat for the last 5 days. Then they released earnings after hours, and they are getting crushed right now. At this moment, they are down 15% in the after hours at 23.80. So that's what you are seeing unfold.
down, but down now. No, no, no.
Yeah.
I just again don't. There's no.
Oh,
Again, there's more of just investor, guidance that is being held with Spartan after this earnings.
yeah. But you know what? You better hold on to it, let it ride out for a little bit. You take the gains. There's not a bad decision to be made
And
right
I'm not saying I'm waiting for 27 either, guys. I'm
now.
thinking like again, do we get to like somewhere in the 23 to
No. Yeah.
25 range, and then I
Yeah.
cut bait.
Could easily happen.
Again, Spartan Nash, great company. I think a bunch of investors out there and YouTube viewers in our community bought them
Yeah.
back when we were talking about them in the 18-20 range. And, I think a
Yeah.
lot of you exited in the 30 to 35 range. So good
Yeah.
job. And if you held on, you've collected a 4 to 5% dividend for a long time.
Yeah. And we're not saying it's a bad company. That's the thing. We're also going to simplify our portfolios. And this is just as a rare opportunity that presented
Personal
itself
finance.
when they just popped up after earnings. So just keep that in mind. We're not hating on the company. We're just hating on small positions in our portfolio right now. And this
Twinkle,
is
twinkle, babe.
yes. Well, all right, everyone. Let us know what you think about Spartan Nash. Let us know what your thoughts are. Throw that stuff down in the comment section below.
Guys, let us know what you would do. Can't wait to hear it. Thanks for watching, guys. Like the video, subscribe to this channel, and you're either with us or you're against us, Jack. That was Bert and Lanny from the Dividend Diplomats. Over and out.